inside so she could see inside of it. She really liked that aspect of like hitting it. And so since she wasn't able to throw it, she was able to engage more in it because whenever she had something that she could hold, she just wanted to throw it immediately.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
No, you were saying a thing.
Well, I'm just wondering, so having almost a barrier to that drive helped her.
Yeah.
Okay.
My student really liked like traditional instruments. Like the entire time she was talking about like wanting to play like the piano and the harmonica, and like she enjoyed the glockenspiel more than she did like the makeshift gong, or like she liked the traditional instruments just like for what they were, rather than like making an adaptation.
I was gonna say about ours, they did like a piano cover, which Jonah was able to like work with, but he ended up pushing it off and like trying to play the piano instead. So I was thinking if there are other instruments around that make sort of the same thing. I saw a couple like colorful xylophone type things, and I think he'd like that, but he didn't work with those very much. But just from watching how he worked with like a traditional instrument, I think he'd like that better. But he really liked, we had like a xylophone with the pedals on it, and it had all these different textures and colors, and he really, really liked that one. But he like didn't, I thought he would like a drum a lot, and he ended up not liking it as much as we thought he would. But he still liked the aspect of the xylophone, you like hit it to make it work. And he really liked that, but he also really liked traditional type instruments too, so I thought that was interesting, because I thought he would like the adaptive things a little bit more than he did. So.
Why do you think that your two students may have liked the quote-unquote traditional instruments?
I know that I was actually talking with her mom while this was happening, and she's like, yeah, we got her a piano like 2 years ago, and like her dad was a musician and her mom has a history with music. So she has a lot of like background with like, let's use the traditional instruments rather than feel coddled with adaptations.
I think the piano was easier for him to work on than the piano cover being on the piano, so it's easier for him to like push it aside and just play the smaller keys. I mean, at least like, because I just saw him with the piano, but that's what it seemed like, because he was able to make sound faster and easier and like in a clearer way than he was with the adaptation.
And maybe more choices too.
Yeah.
What are some other things that you were surprised by or that you want to share?
I was kind of surprised to see that our student didn't like the drums as much as we thought she would. Like, she has an incredible sense of rhythm and can rhythmically express herself very, very well. But she did, like, the reasoning she gave us for not liking the drums, even though that was probably the one she interacted with most, was because it wasn't, like, pitched in the traditional, like, piano sense.
And I feel like she had to reach pretty far to, like, play the drums, too, which it was, like, uncomfortable. I don't know.
I see that, but I also see that, like, she was able, like, the longer she sat there, the more she was able to figure it out and get it, whereas, like, a lot of the other ones were so small that it was, like, more finite movement that she isn't really great at yet. And so I feel like if we found something like the drum set that was able to play piano notes or ukulele notes or something like that, I feel like that could be really, really good for her.
I thought it was really interesting.
Can you speak up a little bit?
When I was with the student on the drums, like the drum set thing, I could just kind of see in his mind, like, that he was hearing, like, you know, something other than, like, what he was playing. So, like, he would sing along with it while he was playing, or like he was moving along with it, kind of dancing. So I could just tell, like, there's a whole lot of musical stuff happening that he's just thinking about, and I thought that was really interesting.
I think that volume definitely played a big role in a lot of users' like experiences. So like Hannah and my client wasn't here, so we really got to go around and see everybody. At least we tried. But I noticed that I think Wiley was saying the child on the Glock, she really, really liked it because it's loud, like a Glock is loud, especially if you hit it with metal against metal, and that it had pitches that she really liked. So, like one student, I think Sean, he really enjoyed the drum set cymbals because they were really loud. But I could tell that he was also searching for like music, you know, not that cymbals aren't music, but pitches within the drum set. So I think some form of percussion pitched like a marimba or xylophone, Glock is really attractive to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's the same case for my student, because he, because we had like the xylophone thing with the pedal, he would hit that a little bit, but then when we also had the piano cover, he really liked to hit on that because it was coming from like an electric keyboard that was loud. So it'd be interesting to see if like maybe some of these instruments would have been able to like been adapted further to be even louder than they currently are, through some form of amplification method.
And I wonder about the percussion aspect and pitched. I wonder if it's just a diversity of sound choices.
Oh,
might
right,
be
yeah.
the thing. When there's more pitches, there's more sound choices for you to play with. Although, again, the gentleman who was hanging out on that drum set with you two, he found lots of different sounds on that drum set, but he was also willing to do that, and you all played with them. That changed things. Some other takeaways? Things that surprised you?
I definitely noticed that when we started, even the instruments that were adapted specifically for a wheelchair didn't necessarily provide the most freedom for the student. And I think it was about halfway through going through the instruments where we were just like, this would be great if we could get her out of the wheelchair. And that was the question of, working with the parents and the teachers to set that up. But afterwards, our student was very tired today, but I think we got the most out of her when she had the most freedom.
Yeah, that's the word you used. You said willing. And she wasn't really willing in the beginning because she was asleep, so we had to wake her up. And a lot of the movements that she did, we had to facilitate, like move her arm or move her foot. But the one instrument that she did really like, she was able to kick it on her own, and she seemed to respond really well to it. So I think it really depended more on which instrument it was in order to captivate her interest. And I guess that's something taken into account in the future when she maybe wants to play different instruments.
Mm-hmm. Let's change positions because it's going to get loud in here.